Hello and happy Wednesday. So today is one of those videos where I actually have like a theme, and it's kind of a topic that I've looked into a little bit further because one of the instances that I talk about is actually mine, and then the whole topic started because I had multiple letters that were the same topic. So, but first off, I have one letter that I wanted to read because I actually have so many that are similar. So, the first one is: since I was very young, I always went camping, fishing, and hiking with my family. Every chance we got, we headed straight for the best place to put a tent and make a campfire. But here's the thing, every time, and I mean every time, I would be in the woods, it's as if someone is watching and following me. I've asked my brother and sister if they have felt this, and they always act as if I'm crazy. So apparently in my family, this is not common. But it's weird because this letter is actually really common when, I go through my stuff. So is this something that you experience? And if so, feel free to send me a letter explaining your experience, or of course comment below. So on to the topic today. So this video is a connection between traumatic births and being more connected to the paranormal. So if you've had a super traumatic birth, are you able to experience more paranormal phenomena? So first off, this is me. When I was born, my mother experienced a super traumatic labor. She was in labor with me for 72 hours and over 17 of active labor. I had the cord wrapped around my neck 3 times, and unfortunately, because I did have a super traumatic birth, my mother wasn't really able to connect with me as a baby. So I was always really close to my father. So I don't know if that's something that's common with a traumatic birth, but maybe so. So because of this, I wonder, is this a reason as to why I am able to experience more paranormal? So this is something I've always wondered. So then I started receiving letters that had a similar, aura to them. So the first one is: I've always been sensitive to the paranormal and have seen some pretty intense things. I feel it's because I was strangled at birth by my own umbilical cord and had to be delivered by C-section after I was already pushed back inside my mother and then resuscitated. So this person was literally strangled but pushed back in. So that's a weird thing anyways, like being born but then being unborn and then being born again, but in a totally traumatic way. So I mean, similar to, I guess, what happened to me. Second letter: I was born 2 months early, and I spent many months in the hospital as a tiny baby, on oxygen as my lungs were not fully developed. When my parents would visit me, my mother told me it always smelled like my grandfather's cologne. He passed away right before I was born, 1 week to be exact. To this day, I sometimes smell his scent of a cologne, and I have my whole life, but I've never smelt it anywhere else. My mother swears it's my grandpa who still comes to visit me. I have never seen his apparition personally, but I fully believe it is probably him. There is also a ghost child that lives in my house. I know it's a child, as I see he or she at the corner of my eye, and sometimes, and it appears short in height. You can hear footsteps on my old steps. They're wooden floors, and it's always in the middle of the night. I still to this day don't know if my eyes were playing tricks on me, but I swear I saw a small figure in one of my windows about 3 months ago. I blinked and it was gone. So this person was a teeny baby, and maybe them having a super traumatic beginning of life made them able to experience more paranormal. Okay, so third letter: I have so many paranormal experiences, it's hard for me to pick one, all centered around my mother. I personally believe those who are Rh negative, I am Rh negative, my blood type is A negative. And those who are born from someone who is Rh negative tend to have more paranormal experiences than those who are not. My mother had many issues when she was pregnant with me, and she was a type O negative blood type. Many times she almost lost me and was also not able to carry me to full term. I was born 2 months early and required to be in the hospital longer than most babies. My mother has explained to me that while she was pregnant, she felt more aware, in a sense that her mind was more open to not what our eyes see, but what is unseen. She felt many presences around her, some good and some bad, and for some reason her pregnancy amplified it. I also experienced exactly what she described my whole life. I have felt other beings around me, but obviously I cannot see them. I have never played with a spirit board or anything like that, but I will always be curious as to who they are. So, I mean, is there a connection? You have all of these people who experience traumatic births, and then the Rh negative blood type. I have heard that so many times. I've read so many things on that being a connection to the paranormal, that being connection to, well, aliens. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Are any of you a Rh negative blood type? Did you have a traumatic birth as a child? Are you a mother and did you have a traumatic birth when you were giving birth? Did you experience crazy things when you were in labor or when you were pregnant? I would love to hear all of it. If you have anything you'd like to share in comments or send me a letter, feel free. Of course, that's always anonymous. So always, we are on to, well, not always, well, we just started it last week, but you know, Cryptid of the Week. So, our cryptid is the Ohio Grassman, and let me tell you what, he was so hard to find, like, a picture of him. So, I mean, he's kind of lame, that picture, and I think he's a drawing, obviously, but, you know, I tried. So, the Ohio Grassman is a legend that persisted for nearly 150 years in Ohio. The first sightings date back to 1869. I can't even read my own stuff. The Grassman is quite similar to Bigfoot, based on description alone, as it is large, hairy, and bipedal. However, its behavior and habits set it apart from a typical Bigfoot. The Grassman seems to largely eat tall grass. So basically, it's Bigfoot, but it's the vegetarian version. This is perhaps the reason it is so particular in Ohio, which has quite a bit of farmland. 150 years ago, when the sightings first began, Ohio was quite underpopulated, and there was plenty of water, places to shelter, and even lots of game to hunt. Although it appears Grassman's main diet is wheat and grass, other farm products and sometimes other farm products when these are no longer available. So I'm assuming it might sometime eat meat, but it prefers to be a vegetarian. One of the most famous sightings to place was in 1979 at Evelyn and Howe Clayton's home. The family was enjoying a quiet evening with their children, grandchildren, and a few friends, while Evelyn and Howe were relaxing in their home, and suddenly their children and a few of their friends came screaming through the door. Apparently, they were scared to death. They told Evelyn that while they were playing outside, they came across a monster in a gravel pit. Unsure of what to do, but believing fear of the children, the couple headed outside and saw a creature covered in dark hair that was about 7 foot and around 300 pounds. So to me, it seems like it's, I don't know, those of you who know anything, I guess, about what Bigfoot is described like, they're bigger. This one maybe is slender, I guess. Probably because it's a vegetarian. When asked, Evelyn said that the Grassman simply stood there, although she hightailed it out of there quickly after seeing it. So they were afraid of it. apparently. I always, when people always see stuff like this, I wish I could see one. Why don't they ever try to talk to it? But anyway, so that is Wednesday's video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for sitting here and listening to me yammer on. So have a great day.